The story of Moses and the Exodus is one of the most enduring tales in history. It resonates through religions and cultures. At the heart of this story lies a powerful figure, the Pharaoh of the Exodus. Today we're going to delve deeper into his identity in both the Quran and the Old Testament. The stories of Moses and Pharaoh in the Quran and the Old Testament are very similar, but they do not mention the name of the Pharaoh who defied God and reigned during Moses' life. Ancient Egyptian archaeological artifacts do not mention the disasters of the plagues or the demise of Pharaoh and his army in the Red Sea, nor the name of Moses. The scholars of Egyptology have speculated about the identity of the Pharaoh of the scriptures, proposing various theories. The main contenders are Meneptah, Thutmose II, and Ramses II, with some historians suggesting Amenhotep II and Thutmose III. However, supporting evidence for Amenhotep II is primarily biblical and not Quranic, while Thutmose III has sketchy and unconvincing evidence. Meneptah was said to have mummification salt residue, which was identified with the Quranic narration of the pharaoh's drowning. However, this was found to be a common feature of mummified bodies, and supporting evidence seemed to rely more on biblical than Quranic accounts. Additionally, the short reign of Meneptah does not align with the long years of Pharaoh's opposition to Moses, including the years of drought and the plagues. Thutmose II's reign was also too short to cover all the events related to Moses, the Pharaoh, and the plagues up to the Exodus. While there were circumstantial evidences that seemed to align with the narrative of Moses, the lack of significant features that matched the Quranic description of Pharaoh reduces the likelihood of Thutmose II being the pharaoh during Moses' time. Ramses II, who reigned for 67 years, emerged as the more probable candidate based on archaeological, historical, and Quranic evidence. The Quranic narration suggests that there was only one pharaoh throughout the period from the birth of Moses to the Exodus, which aligns with the reign of Ramses II. Quran 28:7-9 narrates, "Then the family of Pharaoh picked him up, only to become an enemy and a source of grief for them. Indeed, Pharaoh, Haman, and their troops were wrongdoers. Pharaoh's wife said, 'A source of joy for me and you. Do not kill him, perhaps he will be of benefit for us, or perhaps we could take him for a son.' They were unaware. Also, Ramses II exalted himself and proclaimed himself as the highest god, a characteristic that matched the Quranic account of Pharaoh. 'I am your Lord, the Most High.' Quran 79:24. The Quran provides clues suggesting that Ramses II was the pharaoh of Moses based on his reputation as a builder and the description of Pharaoh in the text. In Quranic references, Pharaoh is associated with the construction of monumental structures. In Surah 89, Pharaoh is described as the Pharaoh of the ofthe, which can be interpreted as stakes or enormous buildings in Arabic. This aligns with the interpretation of Ramses II using stakes for torturing his opponents, as well as his notable achievements in monument building. The Quran in the same surah also mentions two other communities engaged in monument building, the people of Ad with their high pillars, and the people of Thamud with their carved homes in the mountains. Following these groups, Pharaoh is mentioned as the Pharaoh of the ofthe, suggesting that the word ofthe here may refer to magnificent buildings, specifically ones carved from rocks and mountains. Ramses II indeed built impressive structures such as the temples of Abu Simbel in Nubia, which were carved into the mountainside. The Great Temple, featuring colossal statues, and the small temple dedicated to Hathor and Nefertari are notable examples of his architectural accomplishments. The discovery and preservation of Ramses II's mummy also aligned with the Quranic mention of preserving the body as a sign for future generations. In conclusion, when weighed against the Quranic evidence, it can be concluded that Ramses II is the most likely candidate for the Pharaoh of Moses, as he is the only contender who ruled long enough to be involved in all the events from Moses' birth to the Exodus, displayed characteristics mentioned in the Quran, and was known for his monumental construction projects. The identity of the Egyptian ruler who enslaved the Israelites in the Old Testament remains uncertain, with most people associating it with Ramses, as depicted in popular films like the Ten Commandments. However, the Bible does not provide a name for this pharaoh. Historical research presents challenges in identifying the pharaoh, with conflicting dates and unreliable records complicating the issue. Scholars have proposed various theories regarding the timing of the Exodus, with two main dates being considered, 1446 BC and 1225 BC. The early date aligns with events in the reign of Thutmose I or Amenhotep I, while the late date correlates with pharaohs like Seti I and Ramses II. Some suggest a middle ground in the 1300s BC, potentially involving Tutankhamun. Amenhotep II of the 18th dynasty is a commonly accepted candidate for the Pharaoh of the Exodus, supported by historical evidence like the sudden absence of military action during his reign. Neferhotep I of the 13th dynasty is another possibility, tied to the Ipuwer papyrus, describing calamity in Egypt and the lack of succession by his son. Additionally, the Hyksos conquest following Neferhotep's reign aligns with events in Exodus. Various archaeological findings, such as mud and straw bricks in pyramids and the Ipuwer papyrus, offer extra-biblical evidence supporting the Exodus narrative. Sites like Kahun show signs of mass desertion and infant burials, consistent with the biblical account. In conclusion, while Amenhotep II is the most widely accepted pharaoh of the Exodus, other candidates like Neferhotep I and Tutankhamun are also plausible. The mystery surrounding the identity of the Egyptian ruler adds layers of complexity to understanding this historical event, with multiple theories and evidence contributing to the ongoing scholarly debate. In conclusion, based on the Quranic evidence, Ramses II is the most likely candidate for the Pharaoh of Moses, as he is the only contender who ruled long enough to be involved in all the events from Moses' birth to the Exodus, displayed characteristics mentioned in the Quran, and was known for his monumental construction projects. On the other hand, while Amenhotep II is the most widely accepted pharaoh of the Exodus in the Old Testament, other candidates like Neferhotep II and Tutankhamun are also plausible, adding layers of complexity to understanding this historical event. Subscribe for more videos about the mysteries of history.